Jerome, it's Sam here. I always had this idea to have a conversation with people who know cars. Not the rich people that the father gave them, the son, a 20-year-old 911 GT3 RS. The persons that they know cars for a long time. That was my idea. And I always wanted to start this channel to have a conversation like this, but always, time, we couldn't find it. I said, you know what? 2025, it's going to change. We're going to start it. So today I have Jerome with me, which is a good friend of mine as well, who has been in the business for more than 2 decades.
Something like that. It's been a long time.
So Jerome, just do introduction.
Yeah.
How did you come to this business? Where did you start from?
Yeah.
And 20 years in the business.
Yeah. I'm Jerome. I stumbled on the business by accident. So I've always been a car guy. Since I was young, I fell in love with cars. I don't know why. It's just something about them. Jeremy Clarkson, who's on Top Gear, who's on Grand Tour, and he talked about there's car people who love cars. And then there's people who it's just a four-wheel thing.
There you go.
I love cars. I love everything about them. I started as a lock guy at a dealership. And it was actually a position lower than a lock guy. I can't remember what the name of it was. But it was lower than a lock guy. The people that we have cleaned up the cars.
So you are the scratch.
I scratched. And just over the years, worked my way up through dealerships. And again, it wasn't easy. You do different things, working at the auction, a little bit helping out in the finance office, doing paperwork, working the admin side, right? Like every single job that came with that, which again, most people that work in dealerships don't necessarily love cars.
Correct.
I was really blessed enough to work with some great people, experience some really cool cars in some really cool situations you wouldn't expect. A GM throwing me keys to a GT3 or GT2 and then saying, hey, take it for a drive.
Oh.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, let's do this. Wait, the keys on the left, like all that kind of stuff, right? And you get these really unique moments that other people normally would never get. And it kind of started out that way. But yeah, I've been really blessed to be in an industry where we meet cool people that you would normally never meet. And then those connections start happening. We have a mutual friend who I'm sure we're going to tag in this video, Kai.
True.
Again, unique situation, got to meet him. Stunt man, videographer, drifter, and the list goes on and on. And next thing you know, you get to be invited out to skydiving or to the track and things that would never normally happen. And that's it. That's how it's been going.
So you can correct me if I'm wrong. You have been working with Chrysler for a long time, and you have become a general sales manager as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how did this journey went?
Like most things in life, sometimes they're by accident or by you're in the right place at the right time. So I had been with Chrysler for about 10 years, and
10 years.
I was actually leaving the auto industry when I stumbled into Chrysler. And I was talking to the owner and said, listen, I want to go into commercial real estate while I do my license. Can I work at your dealership? I've been in sales for a number of years, but I'm done with the auto industry. It's been 10 years. I'm done, right? I just want to get into commercial real estate. He's like, hey, listen, you've been top sales guy before with, VW Audi. Can you come over and help us out build a team? I'm like, yeah, but 3 months. And fast forward 10 years later, I'm still here, but it was building a team, building another team, and then slowly working up to sales manager to GSM to GM, right? And it was, the GM left and there was a vacancy, and it's like,
nice.
It's a weird position of, do you want it or don't you?
Don't you?
Do we want to look for somebody else? It's like, no, I'm going to do this. Do I know how to do it? I don't know, but we're going to do this, right?
We're going to do this.
And took it on, and then I followed the owner who was partially involved with that auto group over to here now. And I got to meet you and some other amazing Persians and kebab and all those other great things. And now we're here. And now we're here together. Yeah.
Guys, don't forget to subscribe so you can help me as well to try to make these videos.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get to the interesting part. So as a GSM, you can choose to drive whatever car you want. Since it was Chrysler, did you have a Ram TRX or a SRT LK, something that you can drive? I want to make this conversation a little bit interesting.
So here's where I differ from a lot of GSM, GMs type of thing. So the way that I look at these cars, like we have the Hellcat here, 2016. When these came out, you couldn't get them. Like people were coming in with $20,000 cash. Please give me this car. Whatever you want, I'll pay. I want this car. And so I've always looked at these cars as special. So if I demo this car, I devalue that car.
True.
So if I'm only getting 3 or 4 a year and I'm taking one, I've always looked at helping the dealership. Do I really want to take this?
It to devalue the car.
Yeah. Would I take one? Would I, drive one for 3 months of, say, a 392? Absolutely. If it's used, not a problem. Right? Because what's 3,000 kilometers? It's not going to change much, right?
Correct.
If I take a brand new Hellcat, a brand new TRX, if you work at Mercedes, you take a brand new AMG, I look at that as I'm taking money from the company because that's a car the company should sell, right? So
Correct.
The previous GM loved taking the cars. Again, the issue was, how do we sell this now? Because we want to sell it for MSRP plus, plus 10 grand, plus 20 grand. How do I sell it with 4,000 kilometers and it's not brand new? Correct. The Hellcat customer wants to order this car. They want to order it from factory, built a certain way, orange brake calipers, carbon fiber hood, whatever it may be. And now if I've put kilometers on it, they can't do that. And it just becomes somewhat of a regular car. I'll give you an example. Demon 170.
Ooh.
Like, no one expected that car to be coming out. 100, I think it was 300 for Canada, roughly, give or take, whatever.
Did you sell for $300,000?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it was 400,000. But it started out
MSRP is 150, 160.
So it started out at MSRP, and then I called another GM and said, "Hey, what are you selling it for?" "We're going to go 30 grand over MSRP." And then it's like, "Oh, okay. So I'll go 60 grand." And then, "What are you doing? 200? Wait, I'm doing 250." And it adds it up. And now people are calling and saying, again, "I'll pay what you want." So we factory ordered these, and the MSRP sticker comes with a name on it, like Sam, right, Yari, and that's your names on it, and this was ordered for you, the configuration you want. People are paying crazy money for that car because it was ordered for them, and from now until that car one day is done, there'll always be an owner history ordered for da-da-da-da-da. Same car, where a dealership ordered it and just didn't spec it out for a customer, just, hey, it's a 170. We kept it. We didn't put a customer name on it. People are only willing to pay MSRP.
Correct.
It's not special anymore.
It's not special anymore.
That's why. So I got to drive a lot of nice demos, but in my mind was, I'd rather take it for a week. I'd rather have it for 3 months used than I'm going to take that brand new car off the lot and devalue, because there's only so many of them.
So many of them. So we talked about, you just mentioned a Demon 170. Do you think that car is going to hold its value?
Yes. The original followers of the American muscle, the big three, right? Dodge, GM, Ford, right? They grew up in the 1970s. That's when they turned 20. That's when the big muscle was really getting in. Before we saw BMW and Mercedes and Audi really coming over, they had the Beetle back then. Like, it wasn't a big deal. So American muscle were iconic cars. It was huge. That was the battle of the V8s, right?
Correct.
The 446 pack, the Hemis, the Cudas, like that was when they were battling. They turned 50, and it's in the 2000s, and that's when we got these cars coming back. So they started buying those back, and the iconic started coming back, all the remembrance of it. And then obviously they're turning 70 now. They're starting to sell some of those 1970s. Our generation grew up and started falling in love with these. So now fast forward 30 years from now, the Demon 170, 300 made, the last of the gasoline vehicles before we go hydrogen or electric or whatever, that will still be the car, the one that everybody wanted. Because the last version of it was 2018 with the Demon,
Correct.
Right? So
after 5 years, the 2023 came out.
But again, it's a car you invest in. It's a car you keep. You don't put more than 2,000 kilometers, garage kept, one owner, right? Maybe two, you bought it off somebody that had it. You're going to make your value back double, if anything else, if you keep it and don't use it as a daily drive.
Good tips, good tips. So now we're talking about a little bit muscle cars.
Yeah.
Between the muscles, which one do you prefer? Like, I know. Are you a Ford guy?
So first off, there's not a Ford in here for a reason. So forget the Mustang guys. Listen, I know I'm going to get hate on this.
Yeah, they got it. Zach is going to comment already.
Believe it or not, my dad was a GM guy. He really was. He had a 1979 Monte Carlo. It was green. It was like a lime green type of thing. He loved the Riviera, the GTO. I personally love Chevelle, like 71 Chevelle, black with silver stripes. That's my car. That being said, The reason I have a problem with Ford is that Dodge built their car from Dodge. They didn't need anybody else. They have their SRT division, it's done. Camaro, Chevy did their thing. There was a Hennessy edition, but hey, the ZL1 and everything else, they built that themselves. Carl Shelby had to come to Ford to help them build a car, and they still kind of ran off of the Shelby, doing whatever. And it's like, I get it, it's a factory car, yes, it comes out, but it's Shelby that did that for them. It's not
the Ford itself.
Ford itself, right? Ford was dying till Shelby came around.
We saw the movie Ferrari on Ford.
Yeah, exactly. I love all brands, don't get me wrong. If there's a GT500, I think it's an amazing car, amazingly built. Each car, I think, is unique.
So
we talk about the Hellcat, for example. 2016, they come out, Hellcat, 707 horsepower, and they lay down the gauntlet to Ford and to GM. Bring out a car. What does Ford do? Do you remember?
No,
because they didn't do anything.
No.
There was no answer. It was, here's 707 horsepower.
What are we going to do?
What are you going to do? Where's your factory car? Nothing. The next year, nothing. The next year, nothing.
Is this the same one? It doesn't come with the sunroof because it's the sunroof.
Bingo. Yeah, so, and if you go back to Fast and the Furious, which I know is so made up, I'm not saying it's real. Please don't say it's real. Vin Diesel talks about it to Paul Walker, and he says, listen, the car had so much torque, it twisted the chassis right off the line. So in 2016, these had so much power, Dodge didn't realize how much the car was twisting, and it was popping out sunroofs. And that's why on this one,
that was a production car.
Production car, right? Fastest production car. So they had to modify it in 2017 to be able to take that torque of actually the car twisting because of so much power, right? So there wasn't an answer for this. And we have this, beautiful Camaro 1LE behind us. It's an amazing car, 2SS. It's basically the competition to the Scat Pack 392. And it's an amazing car and it's fantastic. But look how long it took Chevy and Ford to create an answer to
get on the...
Yeah, and I know I read your channel all the time. Fantastic channel, by the way. A lot of people will be like, there's better money for this. If you look behind us, right? Like, go, hey, this C63 AMG S handles better on the track.
Correct.
Better control, right? You're absolutely right. It does. So does an M4 competition, and it has less power, right? There's a lot of stuff you can buy for 120 grand based off of a red-eye, wide-body Challenger or Charger. There's something you can spend the same or less money on and get a better track car, better handling, more features, Sport Plus, electronic suspension. That's true. But saying that, the reason you say that is you probably haven't driven a Hellcat, right?
When you've driven a Hellcat,
it puts a smile on your face. There is nothing about this car that it makes sense. Every version of the Hellcat is heavier as the trim levels go up. The wide body is heavier than the standard Hellcat. Do you know what I mean? Like the Red Eye is heavier than the standard Hellcat. The Demon is heavier than those two. So what automotive brand do you know that does not reduce weight?
True, yeah.
Right? Okay, so that
Dodge is like, again, like we're going to do differently.
We're going to do differently, right? Okay, the tires are too small for the car. You're going to do burnouts nonstop, right? There's the infotainment system is really not that great. It looks like it's from what, 2012 maybe?
Maybe.
It's not fantastic. The seats are big and bulky. It's really, really big. It's huge compared to... It doesn't make sense. Get in that car and drive it. In 2 seconds, you'll understand why they built it. We're going to put the biggest motor in a car and put a smile on your face. That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you on the smile on the face because I remember I went to the island last year. It was with the jailbreak.
Yeah, the police are still looking for you for that. Just kidding.
I remember we wanted like a lineup because we're going to the island. There was a lot of supercars.
Yeah.
There was a McLaren as well over there, Corvette was over there. And in one area, I just floored it. I reached to 200. I just smoked, and I could feel the wine. It was coming like that. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is, it's insane.
Yeah.
It is insane.
It's crazy. And it's that identity. That's the identity behind the car is just.
Well, you cannot get that from the Chevy or.
Well, you can. And Chevy, even in the 70s, Chevy never really beat Dodge in horsepower. But what Chevy did is they built beautiful, sexy cars. They're like, I'm sorry, the Corvette C7 or C8 is way more beautiful, the lines, the design, than this car, right? On the track, when you take, a Corvette, the way that it handles is phenomenal. It's in GT racing, they're the top. They're competing with Audi, right? They're there. So it's again, it's a different feel. Every car has its own identity. The Mercedes, I'm a German car guy. I know you're a German car guy. Sure. The reason I love that car, and really if I had the money, I'm probably aiming towards German cars, is they're the best of your Japanese electronics tuning type of thing, and the German and the American muscle of power, putting those together in one car.
So these are kind of same price wise. We're looking at, if you want to choose. I know it's a tough question, might be even for the guys that, okay, this guy who loves Dodge and Chrysler. Will you consider a Hellcat as a daily driven, not just for the weekend? Daily driven?
Well, in order to get more Persian followers, I'm going for the Mercedes.
You're going for the Mercedes.
I go as my daily driver. Hellcats, again, being what we talked about, like they put a smile on your face. They do. And then they're really uncomfortable. After an hour, you're like, okay, this is making a lot of noise. And it's not that smooth, and it's kind of all over the place. That's when we switch to the Mercedes.
But if you want to go somewhere, it's an event or a meeting or something, not a daily. This is
okay. Yeah.
And this past 2 decades, you've been test driving a lot of cars.
Yep.
You can give me 3 options on those test drove cars that you have done.
Yep.
Which one was like your favorite? I remember we got a Lexus IS 500.
Yeah.
It was only 7,000 kilometers on it. 2022. I remember that. It was mint. I asked him just to take a look at it to see. He didn't even go. He just opened the door and says, "This is it. We want it."
Yeah.
Like that. So sometimes you can just see the car and say, "Hey, we want this car."
Yeah.
3 options gave me
that I've driven,
because you as a GSM has been driving a lot of cars. Like, it's his job to do it, and he can see what's going on.
Yeah.
What was that kind of cars? That's
one that really blew my mind. I might get this year wrong, and so forgive me if I did. I believe it's a 2006 limited edition Lamborghini Gallardo Balboni edition.
wow.
I forget the color, yellow, orange. It was made for Balboni, who was Lamborghini's head test driver for 20 or 30 years or something. They designed it for him. There was only so many built, rear wheel drive. Car is very plain in terms, like there's no creature comfort features or anything like that, but you could tell you're in a race car, right? And so it was the owner's car. He was selling it. There was a Ferrari he was selling, a couple other ones, and they said, "Hey, Jerome, we're going to make a video. Can you drive these cars really fast so we can get it on camera?" I'm like, wait, what? What do you need me to do? Yeah, not a problem. I can do this. And we actually sold that car to the doctor for the Toronto Raptors at the time. So he flew in, came and got the car, looked at it, everything else, and it was awesome.
Nice. Give me another one. It's a lot of
It's
cars.
hard because when you say the Lexus, like when I think of Lexus ISF, Audi R8, Lamborghini Huracan, Porsche 911 GT3 RS.
These are all good.
Fisker, that one was a little bit disappointing. But there's a Honda S2000.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I still have the toy. I have the toy.
Great car. Like, phenomenal. And
they're going to make it. They said they're going to make it for 2026. I don't know if it's...
Please make it the right way. Not, hey, put a badge on it and it's something totally different. Like, actually make the right car. 2001 M3.
Oh.
That was one of my favorite years. Test drove that one. Kind of bubbly, you know, looking. Silver with the gray and silver rims.
Yeah, the silver was always the color for
it. Beautiful car. That one was phenomenal. And then third one on the list that blew my mind, put a smile on my face.
Any newer vehicles?
You know what? Remember, you were with me, and I think it was the M4 competition we took out, all-wheel drive?
Correct.
That car blew my mind. Correct. Like, legitimately.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was the green one.
Yeah, that car put a smile on my face. I was expecting, like, okay, yeah, it's going to slip. It has a bunch of buttons, whatever. it grabbed the road, even in the corner, trying to crack it loose.
we went to the corners as well. I was on the passenger side to see.
Yeah.
Because I like his driving. He does really good donuts.
Yeah.
Which we're banned for now.
We didn't. That wasn't us in the car. That was somebody else.
Yeah,
that was somebody else.
We have to figure out something for the donuts.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
There's still the videos up. Still,
I think any car I can get in that surprises me and puts a smile on my face, I have respect for right out of the gate. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm okay. We're good for the questions. I just want to have a chat with you to know your experience and everything.
I appreciate it. I love your channel. Love the things you're doing. Love working with you. I can genuinely say, I've met some car guys. Most are usually pretty nice and pretty welcoming, and and they have talks, and everyone has a little bit of their beef, and it's healthy to have your own view. Yeah. But one of the things I love about you is that you genuinely love cars.
True.
You're passionate about it. You have questions. You're intrigued about it. When you meet somebody, you think it's cool. It's like you still have that look of the kid in the candy store seeing a vehicle. And I think that we need more people like you in the car world so that people can see somebody, again, that's passionately loving it. It's not about clicks. It's not about how many viewers can I get. It's like, I love these cars and I hope you guys love them too. And if you can, watch a channel. And that's something since the day I met you, it was that passion and care about the purest of the vehicle.
Much appreciated.
And I say, if anyone wants to, definitely follow your channel because you're going to get the right information.
Well, much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
Guys, if you like this video, make sure to make a like, comments if you have anything to say, and also subscribe so I can try to make these type of videos with different persons.
Yeah.
Again, the whole idea was to talk a person who is ordinary and normal. Not one of those rich guys that have like 8 McLarens next to each other in a garage, that we can know what's going on, what's his idea or she's idea, whatever it's going to be for the next one. If you liked it, make sure you can support me so I can continue this. Have a good one.